The Grand Princess Championship card has taken shape. I am Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Tjpw February 10th, 2022, available on Wrestle Universe and YouTube. This was TJPW's big show for February, and the finals of the Max Heart Tag Tournament took place. There were, in my eyes, three important matches on the card: the finals of the Max Heart Tag Tournament, the International Princess title match, and there was also a third match, Suzumi versus Yuki Arai. I'll get into that a bit later. This was a multi-camera show with commentary in both English and Japanese on Wrestle Universe, but only Japanese commentary on YouTube. Before the show started, Yuna Minase from Ganbare Pro called out somebody from the roster to fight her at Grand Princess. Her opponent will be revealed later. And there was also another surprise set for Grand Princess. It was announced that Hikaru Shida from AEW would be at Grand Princess and fight Hikari Noa in a singles match, which is exciting. Hikari Noa missed the show, so Raku and Miya Watanabe sang and danced to start. The first match was between two of the less experienced members of the roster, Arisu Endo and Moka Miyamoto. The last time these two wrestlers fought one-on-one was back in July last year, and they fought to a time limit draw. The result this time would be different. The match started pretty standardly, exchanging holds and wrist locks. Neither could hold advantage for long before the other one stopped them and took over the match. This match was very even throughout. There was one spot I would really like to point out though. Arisu Endo did a drop kick from the top corner, but the thing that caught my attention was how she transitioned to being on the top rope. She jumped from the second rope to the top rope without using her hands. It is a bit hard to explain, but it is the first time I've seen Endo do it. This match was not like their last singles match, and somebody did get the win. After a neckbreaker, Moka Miyamoto transitioned into her signature submission finisher, the Roshamon, and got Arisu Endo to tap for the win. The second match on the card was a trios match, the team of Hyper Masao, Mahiru Kiru, and Ram Kaichou versus the team of Harenu Neko, Kei Torabami, and Asuka, who is known as Veni outside Japan. Ram Kaichou is from Wrestling of Darkness 666 promotion and wrestled her first match in 2005 while still a child. She hasn't been wrestling the whole time though, and took off almost 8 years and started wrestling again in 2019 for various promotions. This match was never meant to be serious considering some of the participants, and they put on a fun match. Everyone got a spot or two to shine and to show their character. Asuka got to do their special pin breakup, where they pose and get in front of the ref's hands to stop their count. Ram tossed up a lot of middle fingers. Hyper Masao's plan to recruit more heroes didn't work. Everyone in the match declined the invitation. Harunu Neko's claws were in full force, and Kei Torabani did a neat suplex toss. After the ring was cleared, Kei Torabani and Hyper Masao were left alone, which gave Masao a chance to hit her move, the final cut on Kei Torabani, for the pinfall win. It was announced afterwards that Ram Kaichou would be back again at Grand Princess. What I consider an important match was next, a singles match between Suzumi and Yuki Arai. Suzumi is a fan favorite, and over the last year or so seemed to be on the verge of moving up higher on the pecking order, but hasn't really broken through yet. Yuki Arai is a pop idol in the group SKE48 with only 1 year of experience in the ring, but is considered a wrestling prodigy and has grasped the concept quickly. This match felt like a competition who would be the future of TJPW. This match was good. Both wrestlers looked great at the end. It started with some nice wrist locks and holds before Yuki used her height and strength advantage to shoulder tackle Suzumi down and open up the match. This was a back and forth match. Multiple times throughout the match, Suzumi would take the lead after a well-paced drop kick, or Yuki Arai's high kicks would stop Suzumi's momentum. There were submission attempts from both. Suzumi used a deep chokehold and ankle lock in the match, while Yuki Arai pulled out the sharpshooter. But the strength advantage of Yuki Arai was too much for Suzumi. Yuki Arai caught a cutter attempt by Suzumi and slammed her down, and followed that with her axe kick to the head finisher called Finally for the pinfall win. TJPW see great things in the future for Yuki Arai, and since the beginning of the year she has started to become a larger part of the shows, not just as an attraction for idol fans, but as a serious competitor. The most fun match on the card for me was next, a tag team match between the team of Raku and Palm versus the returning Neo Bishigun team of Sakisama and Meisei Michelle. Neo-Bishigun are former tag champs, and I like to refer to Saki-sama as the Brock Lesnar of TJPW. She shows up, wrecks stuff, wins the tag titles, loses the tag titles, then leaves. Raku and Palm are Raku and Palm. On paper, this match looks very one-sided, but Neo Michigun's weakness is Raku and her sleep powers. Raku seems to know this too, and whenever she had the chance, she would attempt to put Mei or Saki-sama to sleep. Any match Neo Bishigun takes part in becomes a Neo Bishigun match. This match saw liberal use of the silver tray as a weapon, there was a rose spot, and some elegant poses and dances. At one point, Raku was able to put Saki-sama to sleep, and she wouldn't wake up. This sent Mei on a warpath with her silver tray before she got the ring bell and rang it to wake Saki-sama up. The combined chaos of Raku and Palm Harajuku was not enough to survive the elegant onslaught that is Neo Bishigun for very long, no matter how many shin kicks or chops the head they delivered. Mei hit an assisted double stomp on Palm Harajuku, and that was followed by an assisted second rope head scissors for the pin and the win. After the match, Macy Michelle said she was hungry for a type of food that sumos eat. This was Neo Bishigun's way of saying they will be back at Grand Princess, which is taking place at Ryogoku Sumo Hall. The fifth match on the card was a trios match. The current tag champs, Yuka Sakazaki and Mizuki, teamed with Shoko Nakajima versus the team of Miyu Yamashita, Naoka Kuda, and Marika Kobashi. Even though there were 6 wrestlers in the match, the focus of the match was really between the current Princess of Princess title holder Miyu Yamashita and challenger Shoko Nakajima, who will be having a title match at Grand Princess next month. Everyone was good in this match, but I felt that Shoko Nakajima's performance shone above the others. Shoko came to the ring with a new short haircut which really helped show off her back and shoulder muscles. While Shoko may be the second shortest wrestler in TJPW, she is one of the fastest and strongest. This match had a few spots I would like to point out. The first is when both Mizuki and Shoko got onto Yuka Sakazaki's back for a triple splash on Marika Kobashi. Speaking of short and strong wrestlers, Yuka Sakazaki is no slouch. Second was a triple dive to the outside by the team of Yuka, Mizuki, and Shoko that was nice. And the third was when there were stereo 619s by Yuka and Shoko onto a prone in the ropes Miyu Yamashita. When Miyu and Shoko were in the ring against each other, it felt like Miyu Yamashita was rushing to hit an AA on Shoko. Shoko countered the first attempt with a nice Hurricane Rana. It was only after hitting a head kick from the top corner onto Shoko Nakajima that she was able to get Shoko on her shoulders and hit an avalanche AA, but the pin was broken up. Both of them tagged out a bit later after hitting each other with suplexes. Marika Kobashi and Yuka Sakazaki were in the ring for the end. Marika put up a fight, but Yuka was able to get Marika on her shoulders for the magical merry-go-round and got a pinfall win. My favorite match of the card was next, the match for the International Princess title. Current champion Makito defending against challenger Yuki Kamafuku. The story leading this match was Yuki Kamafuku pinned Makito during the Max Heart Tag Tournament to qualify for the title shot. The thing though is Makito and Yuki Kamafuku are friends, and Yuki's heart wasn't into fighting her friend. Maki saw this and tried to force Yuki to fight by slapping her during the pre-match handshake, but Yuki just took the slap and went back to her corner. This reluctance carried into the match, when it wasn't until Maki got into Yuki's face after hitting her and mocking her weak forearms that Yuki woke up and started fighting in earnest. A quick barrage of offense by Yuki Kamafuku forced Makito to leave the ring and get a breather. Outside the ring, Makito threw Yuki Kamafuku into the ring post and followed that with a body slam onto the hard floor outside the ring. Back in the ring, they traded strikes and submissions, and it was while in a submission Yuki did something I have not seen in a match before. Yuki Kamafuku was handed a phone and got a phone call from Makito's mom. Yuki answered the phone and told Maki her mom wants to talk to her and handed the phone to her while still in the submission. Makito let go and answered the phone, but it was a trick, and Yuki Kamafuku tried to roll up Maki. The roll-up didn't win Yuki Kamafuku the match though, did give her an opening. Yuki tried to end the match a couple times in quick succession, but Maki Ito countered the pin attempt into an Ito Deluxe for a submission win. After the match, Maki Ito and Yuki Kamafuku reaffirmed their friendship before Yuki poked Maki Ito in the eyes and left the ring. Maki screamed in pain and yelled profanities at the departing Yuki Kamafuku. When she got her composure back, Makito called out for her next opponent to come to the ring. Instead of Hyper Masao, who Maki was expecting, Yuki Arai came to the ring to challenge for the belt. Both wrestlers have history with each other dating back to 2018, when Makito beat Yuki Arai for the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal title before Yuki became a wrestler, and Makito beat Yuki Arai in her first match in TJPW last year in a tag match. There is also the fact that Makito is a failed idol, while Yuki Arai is a successful idol. This match will probably be the semi-main event for next month's Grand Princess. It seems early for Yuki Arai to win a belt in TJPW, but she is very popular and brings a lot of fans. While Makito has made clear her intentions of wanting to go to AEW in the future, which adds a bit of tension to the match. That brings us to the main event, the finals of the Max Heart Tag Tournament. Daydream, the team of Riketsumi and Miya Watanabe, versus the Bakaratu sisters, Nodoka Tenma and Yuki Aino. Both Daydream and the Bakaratu sisters are former tag champs and put on a great tag team match. This match was so full of action and power moves I can't really do it justice. One through line of the match was Rika Tatsumi's targeting of Nodoka Tenma's legs. Nodoka Tenma is a power wrestler, and if you take out her legs, you can take her out. So Rika threw many kicks and submissions and dragon screw leg whips at Nodoka's legs, slowing her down and taking out her base. The end portion of this match was a bit crazy, each team throwing their strongest move at each other, but was not able to get the win. The Bakaratu sisters hit a doomsday device on Miyu, who landed on top of Rika, who was laying down on the mat, and Daydream hit their tag team finisher of the Twisted Fate and Teardrop combo, but wasn't able to get the pin. It was only when Rika Tatsumi hit Nodoka Tenma with the flying hip attack from the top rope, and Miya Watanabe holding Yuki Aino in place outside the ring, that Daydream was able to get the pinfall victory. Daydream are the Max Heart Tag Tournament winners and got some nice trophies. Both teams were emotional after the match. This may be the last time they would be in a tag match against each other. Nodoka Tenma is retiring right after Grand Princess. Daydream called out the current tag champs, Majirabi, for a title shot at Grand Princess, which was agreed to. Majirabi also liked the trophies that Daydream just won, so wanted them to put up their trophies also in the match. This was a great show, and I would recommend watching all of it, but the matches I would really recommend are the final two matches, and the match between Suzumi and Yuki Arai. But the matches I would really recommend if you want to keep up to date with TJPW are the final two matches, and the match between Suzumi and Yuki Arai. The next TJPW show looks to be on the 18th. Nothing has been announced for the card yet. This has been the Joshi Wrestling Recap for TJPW, February 10th, 2022. Thanks for listening.